In a world that moves faster every day, where instant results are celebrated and patience is mistaken for weakness, there lies a timeless truth. Real strength is silent and growth is slow. This is the way of the warrior. This is the way of life, and this is the path of patience. Let's talk about the true power of patience through the teachings of ancient discipline, silent struggle, and inner mastery. Patience is not about waiting. It is about what you become while you wait. In every discipline, in every form of martial arts, in every path of mastery, the true battle is not with others. It is with time, and with your own impulse to rush what must unfold slowly. People want results now. They want transformation overnight, but nature does not rush, yet everything is accomplished. You plant a seed, do you scream at it to grow? Do you pull it from the soil and yell, "Why aren't you a tree yet?" No. You water it, you protect it, and you trust the process. This is the same with your purpose, your healing, your inner strength. Struggle is not punishment, it is preparation. Every time life delays your reward, it is sharpening your character. It is testing your resolve. It is teaching you that the strongest steel is forged in the hottest fire, and that no warrior becomes great by rushing through the trials. In Shaolin training, the students rise before the sun. They train in silence, they repeat the same movement thousands of times, not to impress but to integrate, to become one with the discipline, and this takes years, not weeks. So if you feel like your struggle is too long, if your progress is too slow, remember there is no shortcut to mastery. You must be patient with your pain. You must allow your suffering to speak, not to break you, but to build your inner temple. You may be tired, you may be frustrated, but this is the moment where patience becomes your strength. This is the exact point where most people give up, and exactly where you must hold on. Patience teaches you to stop forcing outcomes, to trust your training, to fall in love with the process, not just the result. The flower doesn't bloom by tearing itself open. It opens because it has been quietly growing every day through darkness, through cold, through rain, and so must you. Patience is inner strength in disguise. Most people misunderstand patience as passive waiting. But in truth, patience is the quiet power that keeps you grounded during the storm. It is the discipline to stay calm when everything inside you wants to panic. It's the ability to endure discomfort without losing faith. The patient mind is not weak, it is trained. It knows that power doesn't always roar. Sometimes it simply breathes and waits. Struggle is the soil where growth takes root. The greatest growth happens beneath the surface, in the dark, silent places of struggle. Like a seed beneath the earth, you cannot see what is forming, but something is transforming. Every hardship you face, every challenge you endure, is shaping your roots. Without struggle, there is no depth. Without resistance, there is no strength. Time is your teacher, not your enemy. In a world obsessed with speed, we forget that time is not something to fight, it's something to learn from. Everything meaningful in life takes time to build: character, mastery, healing, self-awareness. Patience allows you to listen to the lessons time is teaching rather than rush to escape them. The more you resist time, the more it resists you. Repetition builds identity. In the Shaolin tradition, a single movement is repeated thousands of times. Not for perfection, but for transformation. With each repetition, it becomes part of your nature. Patience is what allows you to keep going when the process feels boring or slow. Through repetition, your identity changes. You don't just do discipline, you become disciplined. True power is silent, not loud. You will never hear a mountain scream as it rises. You will never hear a tree cry as it grows. Real strength is found in silence. When you practice patience during struggle, you cultivate that silent power. You move without panic. You suffer without complaining. And in time, your silence becomes your strength. Letting go of control creates peace. Impatience comes from the illusion that you can force life to move faster. But patience teaches surrender, not weakness, but conscious release. It means doing your part and then trusting the process. Struggle becomes unbearable when you fight what you cannot control. Patience brings peace by aligning you with life's natural timing. Pain is a signal, not a sentence. Pain is not always a punishment. Often, it's a teacher. When you're patient with pain, you begin to understand its message. It might be calling for healing, change, or release. By observing instead of reacting, you gain wisdom. Patience doesn't erase pain, it helps you extract the lesson before you let it go. Consistency beats intensity. You don't need to explode with motivation every day. What you need is consistency, and consistency is only possible through patience. The man who trains for 10 minutes daily for a year becomes stronger than the man who trains for 10 hours one time. Patient consistency creates sustainable strength. Not every season is for action. Nature follows cycles: spring, summer, autumn, winter. Some seasons are for planting, others for resting. Your life is the same. Not every season is meant for hustle. Patience teaches you to honor where you are, to understand that some moments are for stillness. Rest is not wasted time, it's sacred preparation. The space between effort and outcome is sacred. You plant a seed and water it, but there's a space between that action and the result. Most people get anxious in that space, but that's where the magic happens. Patience holds that space with trust. It respects the unseen forces working in the background, and it stays loyal to the process, even without immediate proof. The ego seeks speed, the soul seeks depth. Your ego will always want shortcuts. It wants the prize without the process, but the soul isn't in a hurry. It seeks depth, wisdom, experience. The path of patience is the path of the soul. It is about going deeper, not faster. The more you follow patience, the less control your ego has over you. Struggle reveals your true character. When life is easy, everyone appears strong. But when struggle comes, only those with patience survive. In those moments, your true character is revealed. Patience keeps your character intact. It reminds you who you are, even when life tries to shake you to the core. You become what you endure. Every moment of patience adds something to your being. You may not see it right away, but inside, something is forming. Like muscle fibers tearing during training, only to rebuild stronger. Your spirit grows every time you sit with discomfort instead of escaping it. In the fire of patience, you forge resilience. Discomfort is the door to discipline. No one becomes disciplined by avoiding difficulty. Discipline is born from facing discomfort with calm presence, and it's patience that holds you still when every part of you wants to escape. When you embrace discomfort with patience, you don't just survive it, you transform because of it. Greatness is grown, not given. You don't receive greatness.
Liftoff of the Delta rocket carrying GLAST, a gamma-ray telescope searching for unseen physics in the stars of the galaxies.
You don't become your best self overnight. Greatness comes one breath, one struggle, one patient moment at a time. With every delay, every hardship, every quiet sacrifice, you are becoming. Mastery is built in the shadows. The world applauds the final performance, but few notice the lonely hours in silence. True mastery is born in obscurity, in the shadows where no one is watching. It's there that patience sharpens you. Every unnoticed repetition, every quiet failure, every silent effort is a step toward greatness. And only the patient stay long enough in the dark to rise into the light. Impatience is a sign of inner conflict. When you feel impatient, look inward. It's not the delay that hurts, it's your resistance to it. Impatience reveals the war between your desire and your discipline. The solution is not to force the world to move faster, but to calm the storm within. Patience doesn't silence your desire, it aligns it with your inner peace. Slow progress is still progress. The world may call it slow, but slow is not the opposite of success. Stopping is. Every inch forward, every day you choose not to quit, counts. The mountain may be high, but step by step, with patience, you rise. Progress is not always loud, but it is always present when you commit to the path. Patience is the practice of presence. Impatience pulls your mind into the future, chasing what hasn't arrived. But patience anchors you in the now. It teaches you to be present in the process, to feel your breath, your body, your task fully. When you are present, life opens. When you are patient, time slows. In this stillness, you find your power. The warrior endures, not escapes. A warrior's strength is not in how hard he strikes, but in how long he can stand without running. Escape is easy. Endurance is sacred. Patience gives you the ability to endure the struggle without losing your center. The warrior does not seek to end the battle quickly. He seeks to remain awake through every moment of it. Delayed gratification builds a powerful mind. When you delay pleasure, you train your mind to serve your highest self, not your lowest impulse. This is the essence of patience, saying no to short-term satisfaction in order to say yes to long-term growth. Those who master delay become masters of their destiny. They no longer chase, they choose. Struggle awakens the sleeping self. When life is too easy, your deeper self sleeps, but in struggle you awaken. Pain calls your hidden strength to the surface. It's in the fire that your dormant courage, clarity, and purpose rise. Patience helps you stay in the fire long enough for this awakening to complete. You don't escape the flame, you emerge from it. Transformation requires isolation. Sometimes you will walk alone, not because you are abandoned, but because your transformation demands silence. Patience is your companion in this solitude. It holds you steady when no one claps, when no one sees, when even your own progress feels invisible. Solitude is not punishment, it's the space where your next version is born. Real growth can't be rushed or faked in a world full of shortcuts and appearances. Patience is the antidote to illusion. You can't fake inner peace. You can't shortcut true confidence. These are earned slowly, through silent struggle. Patience ensures that your growth is not cosmetic, but authentic. What grows slowly grows strong. The process is the path, not the obstacle. Most people see the process as something to get through, an obstacle between them and their goal. But the process is the path. The struggle is the growth. Patience opens your eyes to this truth. It helps you fall in love with the grind, the sweat, the waiting, because you realize this is where your spirit is shaped. The mind must be trained to endure stillness. Most people can face external challenges, but few can endure the challenge of stillness. The untrained mind grows restless in silence, always seeking distraction, stimulation, or validation. Patience is the art of mastering stillness, not as a place of emptiness, but as a space of power. The mind that can remain quiet, focused, and present in stillness is a mind that cannot be broken. You are not behind, you are being refined. It's easy to believe that you're falling behind when life seems slow, but the truth is, you are being refined. Like gold in fire or stone being carved, you're not being delayed, you're being shaped. Patience gives you the clarity to see that every delay is a design, not to slow you down, but to prepare you for what you truly need, not just what you want. The greatest shifts happen internally first. People often wait for their outer world to change, but the real transformation begins within. Patience allows you to focus on your internal alignment. You build strength in your thoughts, clarity in your emotions, and discipline in your decisions. Long before anything around you improves, patience helps you improve yourself. That is how lasting change begins. When you honor the process, the result honors you. Those who rush the journey often damage the result. But those who respect the process, every failure, every step, every repetition, are the ones the result honors in the end. Patience allows you to walk the path with awareness, humility, and mastery. And when the result finally arrives, It is not a surprise, it is a reflection of your devotion. Rest is a weapon, not a weakness in times of struggle. We often push harder thinking more force equals more results. But rest is not retreat. Rest is a strategy. It allows the body to recover, the mind to reset, and the spirit to refocus. Patience helps you know when to push and when to pause. Knowing this balance is the key to sustainable strength. The strongest people are not always the fastest. Speed is deceptive. It can hide inconsistency, impulsiveness, and imbalance, but patience reveals depth. The strongest people are not always the ones who move fast, they are the ones who move with purpose. With each step aligned, intentional, and rooted in something deeper than ego, that is true power. Patience is the antidote to anxiety. Anxiety often arises when the mind lives in the future in worry, fear, and imagined outcomes. Patience brings you back, it centers you in the now, it reminds you that you don't need to solve everything today, you just need to take the next right step. Patience replaces panic with presence, and in that presence you find peace. You must become comfortable with uncertainty. The path of growth is never clear. There will be fog, detours, and silence. Patience doesn't demand certainty, it invites you to trust without knowing, to keep walking even when the end isn't visible, to find stability not in the outcome, but in your own unshakable faith. This is how warriors are made, not by answers, but by endurance. Delay is not denial, it is development. What seems like a delay is often divine timing. You may not be ready for what you asked for, and life is giving you the time to grow into it. Patience gives you the perspective to see delays as preparation. What is meant for you will not miss you, but you must become the version of yourself who can hold it when it arrives. With patience, you move through pain, not around it. Avoiding pain only prolongs it, but facing it, breathing through it, and allowing it to teach you. This is the path to freedom. Patience doesn't numb the pain, it helps you process it. With patience, you walk through the fire, not to be burned, but to be reborn. Every scar becomes a story, every wound a window. So now ask yourself, are you willing to be patient with your journey? Not just when things go smoothly, but when everything feels delayed, heavy, or hopeless, because that's the test. Not whether you can move fast when things are easy, but whether you can stay still, grounded, and faithful. When everything in you wants to give up, that is where true strength lies. Patience is not the absence of action. It is the mastery of emotion during action. It is choosing persistence over panic, discipline over doubt, and purpose over pressure. No one becomes a master by rushing, no one becomes wise by forcing, and no one becomes whole by skipping struggle. So be patient, be still, be present, and trust that what you are becoming is far more powerful than anything you've ever been. Because in the end, it's not the goal that defines you, it's the depth of who you become while reaching for it.